This
Awesome.
conference will now be recorded.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. In case it's your first time, this is actually our fourth meeting that we've done in this under this circumstance, which is being doing it at home in a remote environment. It's been a challenging couple of months for everyone. However, us as marketers, we haven't stopped doing what we do best, which is innovate. Um, the reason we're doing these weekly meetups versus monthly is because we know every week there's new things happening. We're working very closely with our clients to learn from them what they're doing. We've seen people churn, people innovate, people get new ideas and new things. So the core purpose of this weekly meetup, which we're doing every Wednesday at 5, is to actually give you everything we're learning and all the great resources that you could apply for your company as a marketer or for yourself as an agency. To tell you a little bit about myself, my name is Richard. I've been organizing these events and meetups for the past 7 years plus, and I was able to grow my community to 15,000 members in New York City. These are a combination of digital marketing professionals, agencies, students, sales consultants, et cetera, et cetera. So the community has been growing. We've been doing this pretty much consistently on a monthly basis. And we always bring like the latest topics. We have startups pitching. So we always get few things going on every meeting. One is to learn something new. Two is to give at least one good feedback. And three is to meet at least one interesting person that you'd like to continue the conversation with. These have been the essence of every meetup that I've done. And so far, we've been successful doing it. So we hope to continue this as we go. Just quick house cleaning stuff. We have in the chat section of the GoToMeeting, there's an area where you can leave your comments, you can leave your links, and even leave us your link to your LinkedIn profile so we can all connect with you, okay? If you have an announcement, if you have a page you want us to follow, also put it in there because we'll have our team follow up, and everybody else attending this meeting. Okay. Now, just a quick rundown of how the meeting will be structured. Generally, the way we do it is we do about 15-20 minutes introductions. We ask every person attending to introduce themselves and tell us what company they're working for. And then we'll do the roundtable discussion, and then we'll finish it up with a Q&A session, okay? Now for today's discussion, we have some really exciting stuff. We're gonna be talking about some e-commerce, gross sales, and how certain areas in e-commerce have grown differently than others. We're going to talk about some messaging examples from popular brands, and this got some good feedback last time, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to be talking about great available marketing resources that could be at your disposal or your company's disposal. And finally, I will share with you a video email funnel, which you can utilize pretty much immediately using the VBOT platform or any email platform that matter. So this is the outline for our roundtable. Now, before I go ahead and dive into the introductions, I would like to introduce myself on what I do day-to-day basis. So some of you already know I run a company called VBOT. VBOT is a marketing technology stack. So digital agencies, marketing teams, any marketing practitioner in a company, they use our platform to run their lead generation campaigns. So to give you a little, context, we work with companies on creating funnels like this, like a webinar funnel, which can consist of a landing page with a teaser and a video, a thank you page with a prompt for a browser push, an email sequence and a reminder, perhaps a calendar booking and some additional buy now options and upsells, cross sells, right? So all this stuff can be entirely built on the VBOT platform. So if you look at our, starting from our landing pages where you can create, design, and launch at scale at VBOT with the form. All the stuff can be fully launched through us. And we built hundreds of pages on VBOT. They're out there, they're collecting leads, and it works fantastic. Once people fill in those forms through our landing pages or even embedded forms on the client site, the way we do is we capture them inside our database, and then we can track the entire engagement history of that lead. Work almost like a lead data platform to collect all the engagement with the person, so we can display it to you as a marketer right there, including your unbox engagement. Now, it doesn't stop there. Obviously, there's a bunch of things you need to do, which is nurturing the lead throughout the process. And this is where the power of VWOT comes in, is the marketing automation aspect of the system. So you don't have to be a designer, you don't have to be a developer. All you need to do is just have the logic to what you need to achieve. Do things like when somebody fills out a form, I'm going to send them a thank you email. I can add a delay, send them email number 2 a few days later. And you can get a little bit more sophisticated by synchronizing to an ad campaign, for example, fully built into the system as well. You can create a task and assign it to someone on the team. And you can continue building this flow with like sophisticated branching and all these powerful rules and conditions. Definitely a very core feature of the system. A few other things which I'll skip through real quick is that pipeline manager, which you can manage as a soft CRM, task, like Trello looking process, which you can deploy. So this can be fully automated, by the way, through the automation too, which is, we've built some amazing things on this recently. Now we do have a social suite to manage all your comments and reviews and reply back directly to people right from within the VWOT platform. Now, finally, what we have built and really is the core of our relationship with our agencies and resellers is the ability to resell and relaunch the entire platform. So anybody can come into VWOT, they could create their own custom plan. So we can call it, support light. And they could choose any suite of functionality and build their own suites. For instance, if you'd like to launch a landing page builder, you can create a plan. I'll charge you my wholesale price. And then you can go out and we can resell this at your own pricing under your own brand and under your own logo. So this powerful white label feature has enabled us really to scale through our agencies, to our partners, and they simply love it because they could manage their own infrastructure from one place without breaking a bank. So this is VWOT. If you guys are really interested in, exploring this is the right fit for you, if you'd like to see if the agency model works for you, I will put in a link inside the chat option on GoToMeeting, so you can book a consultation with one of our consultants. We'll go through your entire stack, what you're using, and we can determine if we are a good fit. So this is in essence what we've built. As you guys can see, we are really marketing tech heavy, and we really work closely with agencies and partners. So we have very close relationship with pretty much every single client on the platform. If you're interested, fill out the form and my team will be in touch with you for a consultation. All right, now we got that out of the way. We will dive into the introductions. So the way we do it, guys, is just I'll call you by your name. I would love to hear your, obviously your name, company, and what are you working on. And if you don't mind keeping it, 15 to 30 seconds so everybody can get a good turn, okay? We will go ahead and get started. I know, Dylan, you joined us first, so why don't you go ahead and tell us by yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. My name is Dylan Cohen. I'm a student, senior at the University of Buffalo, and I do digital marketing for small businesses and help them increase their online presence.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome, Dylan. We have Robert Weiss. Hey, Robert.
Hey there, what's going on, everybody?
Good
Sending.
to see you again.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I said
right,
good
cool.
to see you. It's been a while.
You too, man. You too. It seems like I have the worst internet connection of the day, like right now. I just posted a link there. You can get to my LinkedIn profile, but that's of a video, and people can watch that, like it, share it. It talks about how to leverage video content and repurpose video content with using old video content, and that's what I do. I've got a digital marketing firm, and we help companies to strategically plan for video, We help them to create video, i.e. produce all different kinds of video. And then we help them to market and distribute that video. So that's a little bit about us.
Robert is an awesome champion in the video space. I've seen him speak. I follow you on LinkedIn, so good stuff posting these videos. I think people can consume these bite-sized videos very effectively. So thanks for that. Awesome. So we got, let me see, we have Nancy Steinberg. Hey, Nancy.
Hi, can you hear? I'm outside at the moment, so apologies, but needed some vitamin D.
All good. All good.
I work in healthcare public relations with specialty in media relations and integrated marketing. So currently I'm looking for a new position, and I'm freelancing with some agencies and some small companies. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Nancy, and thanks for the bird sounds. We love birds.
Me
cool.
too.
We got Yang Bu. Hey, Yang Bu.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so really quickly, glad to join a second time here. So currently a few projects, including Visionary for our business development as a service, actually getting commitment of to 2 million first round of capital in over the next few months. So building out the network.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Yang Bu. Very resourceful guy. I've seen Yang Bu in pretty much every marketing and tech event in New York City. Interesting person to connect with. Cool. I got Sean Goldsmith. Hey, Sean, are you there?
Hey, Rich. Thanks for inviting me. So my name is Sean Goldsmith. I have a few startups. I have a marketing agency called Markery, and we help with B2B lead gen. We're a big user of VBout and a big fan of Rich and all the work he does. And I also have a startup, which I'm a minority equity owner in, called officerlist.com. And we help cops or LEOs, law enforcement officers, find jobs. And I would say about 80% of our LEOs are based in the New York City area. So we work a lot with like NYPD and places like that.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. If you guys want to do lead generation at scale, B2B, I think Sean is the man here. So highly recommend. I've seen what they're doing, and I see them producing very good leads for their clients. So keep doing what you're doing, Sean. Okay, I know we have somebody who called themselves Can't Talk. I love it. We'll skip you, I guess. All right, so we have Dominic. Hey, Dominic.
Hey, Richard, long time.
Long time.
And I wore the hat for you. So yeah, my name is Dominic. Thank you for Sean and Richard for letting me know about this, and I'm glad I'm attending. I run a digital agency with WSI. I am trying really hard to get my clients to adopt marketing automation and CRMs and all these good habits, and VBout seems like the place to be.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
So by the way, Sean, please put, and guys, if you haven't done so, put your LinkedIn in the chat area. Some people would like to connect with you, so that's a great way to do it. Just copy paste your LinkedIn URL and plug it into the chat section. Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. We got Noriko. Hey, Noriko.
Hi, do you see me?
We can't see you. We can hear you though.
Okay. This is my first time using this go-to meeting app, so I'm trying to figure out.
It's okay. If you can't activate the camera, we'll just go with the audio. We're doing introductions, by the way, if you just joined us. Just tell us about yourself, the company, and yeah, what are you working on?
Okay. My name is Azoi. Hi. My name is Noriko. I'm Japanese. I used to live in New York for 20 years, but now back in Tokyo, working for a Japanese IT company called Fujitsu. I don't know if you are familiar with the name, but we are very famous in Japan, but unknown in US market. I'm working at the global marketing department, brand and design strategy. So we are working on rebrand our corporate branding, and we shift the business model from product basis to DX company, digital transformation company. So I wonder how coronavirus crisis will impact on the branding. Nice to meet you all. Sorry, I just woke up.
It's okay,
Yeah,
Noriko.
time
Welcome. So where are you joining us from, Noriko?
I'm calling from Tokyo.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
The other side. Well, welcome and thanks for joining us so early. What time is it there?
It's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up.
Wow, okay. Well,
Yeah.
welcome. Love seeing, different. Usually we have Australia on board. He couldn't do it today. He apologized just now. And we usually have people from Europe, from Spain, from Portugal. Really exciting to see these meetups happening with attendance around the world. So, all right, we have Hadba. Hadba, how are you?
Hey guys, how are you? So I'm Hadba. I'm a co-host for this event. I've been working with Rich on meetups since 2 years, and I'm very excited to learn new stuff. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you, Hadba, for all the work you do. By the way, guys, you probably know this, but putting these events together, from the simple thing of coordinating and creating and getting the descriptions and invites, it takes a lot of work when you add it up at the end of the month. So we couldn't do what we do without the support of the team. And Hadba and George, who's about to introduce themselves now, really can help make this happen. So thank you, guys.
Sure.
Right, George.
Hey guys. Hello guys. This is George Fallah. I'm the marketing manager of VBelt. And I've helped also putting this content. It's really happy to meet you guys. I know some of you have already joined, as this is the fourth online session. And we also have new people, so welcome everyone. And it's also great to share ideas, because week by week some updates might have occurred. And I think I heard that in the US some businesses have opened. So yeah, this is a good
some
news.
places are starting. They're starting to open. Not sure if that's the right thing to do or not, but I guess depending geography, depending.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen sooner or later.
Yeah, I hope so. So yeah, nice to meet you, everyone, guys.
Thank you, George. Did we miss anybody, guys, or this is? I think we got everyone, right? I know I have a couple of pending.
No, we have Stephanie. She's my teammate at marketing.
Oh, I don't see her though. Hey, Stephanie, are you there?
Hey, yes, I'm there.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So I'm Stephanie. I work with Hadba and Sean in marketing, and actually it's my first session, and I'm so excited to get to know new stuffs. And it's nice
Awesome.
it's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, I think now we got everyone, right, Hadba?
Yes.
All right. Cool. So let's dive into it, guys. And the round table discussion, usually I keep it open. So if anybody wanted to interject, we've gathered some cool stuff we thought were I look at. So whatever I feel is relevant to us as marketers might be relevant to the community as well. And by the way, if you yourself during the week find something really interesting you'd like to share in these presentations, feel free to share them with me, which I'll put in my email. And let's keep the dialogue open. I want to give you as much exposure as possible. I want to share your resources, whatever I can, and this is a good platform to do it. Now, last week we did share a couple of things when it comes to some of the numbers. right? I think we discussed how some industries had traffic spike versus traffic drop. And obviously that impacts everything on the marketing side, from the content generation to the video production to everything. We looked a little bit at the e-commerce space, and especially the e-commerce consumer sales. And these are some of the areas that have witnessed a huge boost, obviously, in sales. So you're talking about the medical supplies, baby products, cleaning supplies, food and beverage, the work from home products, which is interesting. And I actually have something later on in regards to that. The health and wellness, toys and games. So these are some really good numbers for anybody who is in that space developing services, products. And I'm wondering if anybody here has seen, I don't know, in your case, maybe Robert, have you seen more people in the medical space reach out to you to do some custom videos? Or maybe in your case, anybody in the food and beverage space have reached out to you to do more B2B lead gen. So if you guys can weigh on this, that would be great.
For me, no. I mean, that could partially be because I'm mostly in the B2B space. We've done some consumer stuff. But I would think that this trend, again, we're open into discussion here, that this trend is driven by the necessity needs that we all have. These medical baby products, stuff like cleaning stuff are kind of like basic stuff,
Yes,
we don't get specifically reacting. So these are types of products that I don't think need any marketing and branding, at the moment. I do have a telemedicine client who has a software. It is a B2B company, and he can't even talk to me. We were talking about a project about 3 weeks before this happened, and he's like, I can't talk because we are just swamped. So that's telemedicine. Again, a B2B product. So they're just in response mode right now because they're so busy.
Right. Okay. Anyone else has witnessed an increase in service requests in these areas that have seen a spike in sales on the e-commerce side?
I mean, Rich, we're going in.
Sorry, John, you're echoing. Yeah, it might be that somebody has the mic on. Guys, if you don't mind muting yourself until you want to go ahead, unmute your mic, okay? That would just get rid of that feedback.
Yeah, so I was saying,
ahead,
yeah, much better. So like we have like requests from medical device companies. A lot of them who have had some e-commerce before, but now they really need to ramp up their e-commerce efforts. So you're definitely in line with what you're saying. But I kind of had a question or just like a curious thought, and I wanted to know what people thought. So like I think we're all focused on like these buckets on the front that look like, oh, there's a lot of growth. But like we have a campaign with an accountant, and the accountants are so busy. Like I think legal, like when you think of B2B, like Robert was saying, like I think a lot of accounting professionals and maybe legal professionals would be on here too if it was not e-commerce, because I play more in B2B as well. So for some of these industries, and I know we're like working on an industry right now, together with tourism, which is the last one. I'm wondering if there's an opportunity too at the very end of these funnels. So I'm not so concerned on like if it's a very high demand or very low demand, but the volatility, if it really went up or really went down, I think you have an option to help both ends. It's just a different pitch to the client. If people are very desperate, like in tourism, like on, and where it says bags or travel, or B2B tourism, I think that's an opportunity. But I also think obviously on the front end, you have an opportunity too, because the people on the back of this funnel or this graph are in desperate need and are willing to try anything to survive and change their offer. So I just wanted to know if people had business on the very end of the funnel. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I definitely think this is where kind of it starts to go down dramatically. But anybody want to weigh in on Sean's question? If they have any categories that are on the low end and have seen an increase or decrease in that area? But I think, for me, that what I'm trying to get to is extrapolate some sort of a pattern from this, because if the medical, usually when the e-commerce purchases is as high, that drives also a bunch of things. What is the cost to get there, right? If you're doing ads, is it the same or has it increased? What about the content? What about the trend chasers, those people who are actually chasing trends and look at what's kind of at a high peak at this moment, and try to either develop content, run ads, or even create some awareness campaign around this to create top of the funnel traffic, to drive them through perhaps an offering that's on the completely other side of the spectrum. So some people use that technique to kind of chase specific key term or boost, let's say baby products, but then you use this as an entry level for your luxury items, because although you're selling luxury items, you can target people who are interested in baby products and do an event or compile some video or content around baby products to ultimately create the top of the funnel, which can maybe eventually lead to some jewelry luxury. I was just wondering about that strategy, if anybody has seen it in play, and if anybody would comment on it.
I think most marketers are not that smart. There are some out there. Now, I'm serious, like the marketers that I talked to over the last X amount of years that I've been selling digital marketing technologies, there's a few, right? But what you're talking about, number one, takes a very strategic and thoughtful approach, and number two, takes a little bit of execution to especially respond to like a trend now. And most marketers are not capable, like technically, to do that. So they need to stick to kind of what they've been doing over the last couple of years and just spin off of what they've been doing. And you would think that now, because of this environment, that leaders are pushing this innovation. So you've got like chief marketing officers that are, worried at the high level, and this is probably more of a director manager level, issue. And I just don't know that they're smart enough or would take the risk to do something like that. That's my 2 cents.
Got it. Okay. That's a good point. Thanks, Robert. Anybody else want to add? Then maybe they're in a two-sided marketplace, particularly in the e-commerce consumer sales. They have seen specific trends or submissions or things on their end in these particular areas now, and how that can drive behavior long-term. Anybody would like to add, or should we go ahead to the next slide?
Hey, Rich, just one thing I've noticed. I was on a webinar today talking about this. So like we were talking about like haircuts and like things like with pets too. So, in places that are still in lockdown, it's impossible to get like a haircut. So I see a lot of, or we're talking about a lot of people that are doing a lot of informational sessions where they're teaching you how to like braid your hair or how to like dye your hair, for example, or how to, I was talking with someone about how to cut bangs. But what the people are doing, they're teaching you how to do it yourself, but they're also doing two things. They're selling products with it, as part of their offering. But we were also talking about like sports and fitness. So a lot of like gyms, they're doing like virtual training sessions on Zoom. So they're doing like your personal trainer with like 10 other people. So we're starting to see the commercialization, the things that used to be in person, be done on Zoom. And then the things that are still impossible, like a haircut, showing people how to do stuff to keep them active so that when this subsides, people are going to come in droves to that provider. But in the meantime, selling products with what you're doing. So, hey, this is how you color your hair at home. This is how you have really nice bangs. I recommend these 3 or 4 products. And that's how these like individual hairstylists are surviving.
Right. That's a great point, actually. A lot of these companies that were never on e-commerce have really shifted or created some sort of product or online e-commerce offering. And that e-commerce could be, purchasing the service now, that's an e-commerce, purchasing a product, like you mentioned, purchasing a training package. So I think that spike in online e-commerce behavior is going to drive what I think is a very niche area of optimizing online sales and optimizing lead gen for e-commerce and optimizing conversion for e-commerce. And it comes down to the marriage of categories. So people are leveraging, if you want, these high traffic and high search, high volume e-commerce sites now in order for them to later on drive if you would traffic to their low tier or impacted business. So yeah, that's great. All right, well, these are some food for thought out there, guys. If you are focusing on e-commerce, doing e-commerce, or you want to create an e-commerce offering, I think that's a great time actually to do it. All right, next I want to share with you a couple of brands, how brands are positioning their messaging. So we're watching some of these big guys out there, which you guys know. A great slogan from Nike. They changed their, obviously you guys know it's always about motivation and stuff. So this is one of their cool messages that we got. If you ever dreamed of playing for millions around the world, now is your chance. Play inside, play for the world, right? I don't know, guys, if you see that meme, but somebody was saying, you know, and during the war, if you want to save the world, you go to war with, like, you know, outdoors and being all ready. And now if you want to save the world, you stay at home watching Netflix. So kind of the same tone here. McDonald's is putting like some brand images, distancing themselves. This is one that stands out a bit, where they are a little bit distant from being like out there in the community. I thought that was relevant. And then Coke is just have this big banner in Times Square, which is, you know, staying apart is the best way to stay united. I guess they're all kind of, you know, I don't know how to say it, but it's becoming a little bit redundant at this point with this messaging. What do you guys think, by the way, about this? Anybody has feedback? I've seen anything cool? Something different?
Yeah, for me, I think it's just too much, and it's sometimes it's a bit saturated, and I think at this point is how you can have a voice that, because all of this just forms part of the din. So the question is how you can have a messaging that is still relevant for what's happening, but just is able to rise above the din. And so for me, these, I just ignore them. There are too many.
I agree.
Exactly. And
I think that the messaging is getting, as you said, redundant, and it's just their ways of staying relevant. One thing that they could do instead is, instead of posting, for example, this Coca-Cola thing in Manhattan, maybe I don't know if there's like a bunch of different rules and regulations they have to go by, but maybe donating money to a certain, I don't know, donating money for masks. That's just something I came up with on the spot just now, but something that will actually do something for this situation, rather than just saying, hey guys, it's almost like making a, not a joke, but it's clear what their reason is for doing it.
it's like a light layer of hypocrisy, if you want, or
Yeah,
just
exactly.
too much to rush. Okay. Like,
Exactly.
hey, we want to stay home. Okay, who's gonna look at you if you're staying home? Who's gonna see this banner?
Exactly.
No, this is a good point there.
Something else I also wanted to mention, just real quick. Sorry
Sure.
to cut you off, but
No, go ahead. By the way, just introduce yourself. I know you just joined us.
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt. So, name's Andreas. I'm a digital marketing consultant. I work with various clients across many industries. I tend to focus on paid advertising in the Facebook space, and I'm always looking to expand and increase my knowledge in the broader sense of digital marketing, and just marketing in general. And that's really what I wanted to mention. So, to me, I see a lot of people doing what you just showed, just kind of like trying to stay top of mind by just talking about, you know, COVID-19 and the relevant thing. And then I see other companies that are actually positioning themselves relative to the market. Like I know Hyundai is doing a thing where they are giving you, they're delaying the payments that you have to make. I forgot exactly how they word it, but you don't have to pay for a car loan or something right away because of what's going on. They realize that people can't pay because of jobs or whatever. So I think it's interesting when a lot of them aren't relevant, but then some of them it's like, we're not just talking about it, we're doing something about it. And, here's why you should, work with us.
That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to get at before. I agree.
Yeah, so it seems like they're not really utilizing their brand asset or their brand equity with the right messaging to get the best results or impact on us as consumers, right? It's just the messaging seems too redundant. People like you, Raquel, said you ignore it. It's just way too much. And like you said, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Dylan, you said it just seems a little bit of like, hey, who you're lying, I know you're trying to market to me. So it seems like this trend of people seeing through this, right? So I'm wondering if this is almost creating like a new line of no bull marketing where like these fluffy messages are not going to work with these brands and you just have to be straight to the point, straight on, and just skip all that fluff, right? What do you guys?
Yeah, so I agree with what Andreas just said. And by the way, hi everyone. I'm Raquel.
Yeah, please.
I'm the founder of BunchFold, and we are a gift technology platform for businesses. So one of the quick pivots that we did recently, we did two quick pivots. First, I was able to leverage some vendor relationships I know to get masks to the Office of Emergency Management. It's very hairy, but one of the things another pivot that we did, which is right on brand, is we've created a page. We haven't launched it yet, but we'll launch in a couple of days. We created a landing page that just shows what we're calling the BunchFold 50. And it's just an ad hoc list of companies that are really doing good, that are making an impact by donating to worthy causes. So we're calling them the BunchFold 50, and we just, we're splashing that like, here's information that's actually relevant and that you can use. And by the way, you should support these brands because they are actually, they're actually doing something and not just voicing their opinion, just not just talking just to be heard.
Okay, cool. Website here. Hope this is business.bunchfold, not that bunchfold.
Yeah, business.bunchfold.com or bunchfold.com. It's it's fine. Either one is fine. Yeah.
So share your LinkedIn with us as well. The BunchFold LinkedIn, we can definitely follow. You're doing some great stuff. I know you've been at it for quite some time, Raquel. So it's a great time to rethink, what you're doing here and gifting is in general. That's interesting. Okay. Anyone would like to add to that, by the way? All right. I know some of you are shy, but it's okay. Maybe
I'll just
warm up.
kind of take a steps back from a B2B standpoint in terms of like the messaging that everybody's kind of doing the same thing. I've got a lot of lawyers and a lot of accountants that are my prospects and clients. So I'm on a lot of lists, and I think I've seen like emails that are this long, like really long, just text, and even from manufacturing companies, which is another target audience of mine. It's just all text, and everybody is saying this same thing,
Right.
So it's like, when are people going to be doing something not just different, but impactful and meaningful? I think that's the key. And it's hard to come up with something that is impactful, meaningful, and different to break through, that's my thought, comment.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And obviously these big brands, they have so much bureaucracy and they have to go through all these compliance things in order for them to push out these messaging. So, sometimes smaller companies are nimble enough to change their messaging on the go, which will make them stand out. So some people are just waiting it out. They haven't changed anything. They're still keeping doing what they're doing. And even maybe to some extent rethinking what they have out there to pause some of the campaigns just in case you know, because right now they're saying that if you have a picture of a mass in your banner somewhere, that doesn't resonate very well when people see it. It's almost like we've built the habit of gatherings. So looking at a picture with like a bunch of people in it, you're like, hey, it's not me. That's not what I am. So yeah, good, definitely a good point.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
You know, Robert, I'm in a similar space. Like I'm more B2B focused than B2C. So we're actually working with selling. Well, I guess I think of it as more as B2B, but selling like large chunks of tutoring. And we started off on this campaign, and you know, the idea is they provide online tutoring. So there were two major things we learned, and I guess how we had to adapt. But the first thing is they were just trying to sell tutoring hours. And what we learned from, like, they got a lot of leads, but they couldn't like close deals. They would have meetings, but it just wasn't moving anywhere. So the first reservation was people didn't want to buy tutoring hours anymore. That's not the pain point. The pain point now is, you know, how do I manage working from home and my children? How do I know when my kids are in 5th grade, they're not screwing around and just having like a fake Zoom photo? Like even like the people not on video on the call, are you guys really listening, or you multitasking? Who knows, right? So there's 5th graders doing that where they're smart enough and know how to manipulate that. So they changed their offer from tutoring hours to say, hey, we're going to have a personal tutor concierge. So we have like one tutor managing 20 kids, and this tutor checks in, makes sure they're paying attention. And if the student has an issue, they message the tutor. So they pivoted somewhat of their offering to meet the need. They have some other products, but that's just one thing. And then the second thing, they had to change how they're acquiring people. So they were doing tutoring in the home. Now they're doing tutoring online. So how do you find the right persona? So we were taking guesses, but one thing we found out, we messaged people who said, wow, we decided to help tutoring for people in the healthcare profession, because those people have the most pain point of how to manage their work life and their and their personal life with the challenges they face, especially like people in New York. But the thing is, we realized that we had to be very specific with the age category that we were going after, because we were getting a lot of positive responses, but a lot of people are like, this is great, but I don't have kids yet, or I just got married. So we learned we had to really target our age category of people who had 10 to 20 years of work experience, but marrying a tweaked offer and a tweaked targeting based on the the new circumstances is making it a successful campaign. But when we started, we had no idea. We were just trying to do the general targeting parameters they had before COVID and a general offer. I mean, a little bit of like what Coke's doing, but it was so like what everyone else does until we had some experience with some interactions with clients, and then we tweaked it. So I think it has to be very specific, like your tweak to COVID. It can't just be like, oh, like this is a hard time, like I'm sorry, like hope it's better.
And you bring up a good point here, Sean. You bring up a good point, because it's almost like you have to try in order for you to find that message that Robert was alluding to, or that offering or that pivot and value. So just trying and doing some outreach, maybe it will get you some response as of what that should tweak be.
You have to continually iterate until you hit something that starts working, and then once it starts working, you might iterate another component. It's like being like a scientist in a lab,
Right. Cool. Good point.
Actually, what you said just now just triggered a thought in my mind that even as I think about our messaging, being very specific and targeting HR managers who are handling employees who are now working remotely, that's probably one positioning that we can take as we target our messaging. So thank you.
Yeah, Raquel, I'll give you. So that we worked on in this tutoring thing. That's the second persona. So it's the medical people and then HR people, but specifically in wellness and benefits, because the HR people in wellness and benefits are making the decisions about how to support their employees. So we're having much more success on the wellness and benefits, HR sub persona than just HR in general. But we didn't know that until we saw the
testing. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So I highly encourage you, Raquel, to connect with Sean. He has a good way of splitting personas and doing mass outreach on LinkedIn to see which persona resonate. And I know, outreach on LinkedIn is not new, but doing it right is what sets him apart. So I highly encourage you guys to connect. All right, cool. Thank you guys for adding some insight to this. I was actually excited to hear your opinion on it. I want to share with you 3 resources I think are really important for yourselves or for your clients if you're doing brick and mortar marketing. So Yelp has announced local support for businesses, and we included in the link. I think they have $25 million in ad credit for local businesses. And I know maybe Yelp is not good for certain businesses in brick and mortar versus others, but if you have that client base of restaurants and bars, which will need it, I think it's a good way to kind of apply the Yelp support and try to get some ad credit from them because they don't come cheap. And hopefully they don't have any, out of those hidden things like you have to sign up for a year, we give you 3 months for free, that sort of thing. And lock you into contracts. So I know they had those shady things, yeah, but I thought it was a good resource to look into. The second one, which I personally applied to, it's a grant from Facebook. It's a $5,000 grant, which gives you, I believe, is $3,500 cash and $1,500 ad credit, right? So for us, $1,500 is one client. That's worth $6,000. So that's pretty much, I think, is a legitimate, good hands-on initiative from Facebook. There's a link there to apply. They're going to close their application on May 5th. Any business can apply if they qualify in the geography that they're offering. So George, if you can share these links, that would be great, actually.
Yeah, sure. I will post them. Yeah, I'll post them in the chat for sure.
In the chat, yeah. And honestly, it takes about 5 minutes or 10 minutes to fill out this application. And there's nothing to lose. If you get accepted, you're good. If not, then you're gonna get $5 grand in credit and cash. So that's a good resource. All right, this is actually a pretty awesome thing that LinkedIn did. They aggregated courses on their website. What's the next thing? Everybody's doing courses. Maybe we don't need to take more courses, right? Now, if you'd like to take more, obviously that's a good place for you, but particularly what I'm interested in here, and let me just minimize this. Sorry guys, this GoToMeeting is a little tricky. Is the ability to dive into these videos at the transcript level, right? So what does that mean exactly? There's 2 things when you try to take these videos on LinkedIn, and George, you can put in the link. They're primarily focused on providing education for remote work and productivity and so on. They got some decent video produced content. The Q&A section and the transcript, I think, are the 2 winning aspects of these. Why? One, if you're looking to gather content on the go for your clients and you want to dive into see good, solid content, you can literally move to this transcript section and extrapolate from it like some good snippets that you can include in maybe your article, maybe your case study, or any downloadable that you're looking for. That's one. Second, in the Q&A section, you can actually find people interested. If you have a client, let's say, who's doing education, and you want to find people who are asking questions and taking the course, these could be potential prospects for you that you can potentially also connect on LinkedIn. You can engage with people via the Q&As, and you can even plug in some call to action without being spammy, respectful to the person given the course, of course. Given maybe a hyperlink to a resource that you've compiled on the other side. So I just thought it was a great resource, whether it is you're using it for transcript, extrapolation, being engaged in the Q&A section of the course, or even just taking the course on its own and learning something new. And finally, which, this is maybe a little bit different, but Chipotle is doing this Zoom meeting, and they gathered many celebrities actually are attending some of these, and they're getting thousands of people on these calls. Now, I don't know if this can be leveraged in a marketing fashion for us to see who is engaging, who is attending, get some content. I haven't quite figured it out. So if anybody have experience, have actually did this, and it's Chipotle and Zoom are doing it together as a lunchtime hangout, which I thought was pretty cool. Let me see here, the link. Anybody has attended the Zoom Chipotle webinar? Not webinar, but Zoom event. Just where I pull it up here. Okay. Well, I just thought it was just a cool flick on getting some celebrities to contribute in these events, because I think people connect with celebrities of their choice. And if celebrities are talking about social distancing, a lot of people like to sort of, I don't follow, but inspired by that to some extent. I haven't figured out a way to maybe look at it from a marketing perspective for us, however. Awesome. Yeah, these are some of the resources, guys. Anybody want to add anything to these? They have any other items they'd like to share as far as available marketing resources?
Yeah, I have a few, and I'll drop them in the link up here as well.
Yeah, please do. Thanks, Raquel. And I know there's a lot of applications out there, right? There's the government stuff. Now, obviously, you can now go in and apply through PayPal if you're doing the PPP program, which now they're going to inject another 350 billion in it. It's funny because they ran out of the first batch, so they needed a payment production plan on top of that. So it's crazy. But at least some of these things are relevant to like marketing spend and stuff like that. I'm waiting for Google to launch their own to see if they have something opening soon, because they follow Facebook pretty quickly, or the other way around. Awesome.
Hey, Richard, I don't want to sound like I'm too self-serving here, but it is a relevant and timely solution. It's not a resource, but it's a solution that I guess kind of is a resource. So I just put it through the chat there. We're basically a video production company that can't do our jobs because we can't be online. We can't be on site to shoot. So we have a service called remote video capture that allows us to capture up to 4K video from smartphones, and even do, if you have two smartphones, you can roll two smartphones at the same time. And there's an explainer video there that anybody can see. But you get the professional direction, you get the professional editing via capturing the data, the files from the smartphone, stored locally, and then uploads to the cloud. So it's not the same as being on site, like that picture right there with two cameras and a whole bunch of lights. But it certainly is good for anybody's clients that want to do video communications during this time, and there's a lot of different use cases. So again, it's not necessarily a resource, but it's a solution that has been around for about a year or so. Not a lot of people know about, so I just put it up there.
Oh, this is great, because people are still need to produce some sort of a video. That need is still out there. So yeah, I have the link in there, guys, in the chat. I think this is the same one I'm looking at. So if this is relevant to you, please feel free to share it, or even connect. Robert's definitely great on the video.
Yeah, and I can give whoever, Robert, you or your clients, give you a demo and maybe do a quick little video just to show you the quality of it. So anytime.
Yeah, and I really think, the people who want to shoot their own videos, obviously these are not your target audience necessarily. Then there are those who wanted to shoot it professionally. But there's a bridge in between of those who want to do it, but they don't know which angle. They don't know, you should have two maybe phone, and then you can merge these together. I would love to see some sort of an explainer on, how to launch your own mini studio. I think you have one, right? It's almost like your own mini home.
Yep. You actually posted that from LinkedIn, so that's on our list, kind of like how to shoot your own video. We actually have a LinkedIn and on our YouTube page had a plan for video in terms of the message. So we do a lot of thought leadership stuff, but that specific topic, have not done yet. So
awesome. put your link in there, man. Let's. I would love to follow you. You have a YouTube channel as well. I think that could help us if we follow you there. We can get notified. And that's another thing that we were discussing with my team, is to create like a table of all the different channels and how they notify you. Because for instance, if you follow Robert on YouTube and Robert posts something, you're gonna get a push notification. You're gonna get an email as well. These two pieces of communications are extremely powerful because they're automated. So simply by uploading a video to YouTube, you can immediately reach those who follow you, right? Via two communication means. So we're probably gonna put something together, George, to summarize how different channels communicate when people take certain actions.
Yeah.
Cool. Lastly, I just want to share with you a quick funnel that I'm working on as part of my like funnel series here. One of them is the video funnel, which ironically is very relevant. Now we have Robert, we're talking about video. So some companies have spoken to us and they said, we don't want to build landing pages, but we do want to create funnels and be able to kind of send people through a sequence of emails that will go from 1 to 2 to 3. So I've talked about this last time, whereas you need to look at what is the end result. So the end result is people taking your calendar, booking an appointment, or perhaps maybe buying a package on your website, if you're an e-commerce website, whatever it may be. So for us to get to this end result, we need to start with the traffic. So the traffic can come in from perhaps your existing email list, or you can use an ad on Facebook with a small 1-minute video telling people what they're gonna opt in for. So we can take maybe a quick example. Let's say, Sean, you compile a 5-series video, 2 minutes each, on how to create a persona, 2 minutes, how to actually use LinkedIn search navigator to kind of isolate those personas, and another 2-minute video on how to send the outreach and measure the KPIs. Another one, how one of your clients did it. And then the third is driving them to that 5th email, where the offer is, or the booking a calendar. And honestly, it's super simple, because once you get the email out, once you get that Facebook form, you guys know that Facebook ad form, and people fill it out, you zap that immediately to your program of choice, which of course I would say Vbout. Vbout can integrate a video which can host it on YouTube and embed it in their email. And 2 days later or a day later, you send them email number 2 with the second video value, right? 2-minute video talking about that second piece of content. The third, and then the fourth, and then eventually, if they don't interact with any, you can resend them with a little tweak to it, like, hey, we realized you didn't open. We would love to see, if there's here's the sequence again. So you can do that kind of rules in Vbout. For instance, if they don't open, you can them through that same sequence. Now from there, you can take them, you can call them after the 4th email, add them to CRM, whether it is automatically or manually. We can do it automatically with Vbout. And even after they make a purchase or book an appointment, you want to dump them in the CRM as well. So this is a quick video email funnel. There's no need for landing pages. You can just record those 2-minute segments, put them inside the email, just drip them one piece at a time in order for you to drive conversion at the end. Anybody has questions or any opinion on this? What do you guys think?
It's good stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is it for today, guys. Again, if you would like to see a demo of Vbout, and if you'd like to see how we can help you on the marketing technology, we'll leave a link for you in the chat. Please feel free to book a call with our success managers. I'm going to leave this chat open for the next 5 minutes if you want to get anything from the chat section. So I'll keep the session on. If you have any general questions right now, it's a good time to spend another 5-10 minutes, answering any questions anyone might have. Happy to open the floor for that. Anybody has
Rich, I'm
questions,
gonna
anything to add? Sorry,
catch you
Robert.
later. Yes, and I'm gonna jump. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, Robert.
Bye.
Thanks for coming in for your input.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna get back to some craziness going on. Good to chat with you guys, even if it was a little brief.
Andreas, yes, welcome as usual. I know you're always on these calls, so I appreciate your contribution.
Yeah, sorry I came in a little late. Something kind of came up, and I got to get back to it. So,
No worries.
good to always get the presentation. You said you're gonna post a link for the presentation, or?
Yeah, we always do so. Let me see if I can share it with you actually right now.
Yeah, because I'd like to see the first half that I missed.
And we have those recordings as well for your for you. So we usually share them after. Have you guys been getting the previous comments and the resources after the event?
I don't remember getting one. Doesn't mean that I.
Okay.
And Sean, if do you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, or do?
Yeah, I'll send you an invite. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna put in the link to Dropbox for this particular event in the chat. Okay, guys.
Alrighty,
Okay,
thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Yeah, thank you everyone for attending, for the good feedback. We'll see you next week at the same time,
Okay.
5 p.m. Wednesday, for some more resources and more cool content. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Raquel.
Bye-bye.